So this gentleman from California, who is also the chair of the Subcommittee on Investor Protection, Entrepreneurship, and Capital Markets, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Crypto is many different things. Cryptocurrency is an incredibly volatile investment that aspires to be a currency that might displace or at least compete with the dollar. A stable coin aspires to be incredibly stable and is tied to the dollar. What they share is a culture, a vibe, a stick-it-to-the-man moniker, a belief that somehow this is new and hip and an attack on the powers of society. But the fact is that the advocates of crypto represent the powers in our society. The powers in our society on Wall Street and in Washington have spent millions and are trying to make billions or trillions in the crypto world. These include Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Visa, BlackRock, Citadel, Musk, and Zuckerberg, not to mention the CEOs that are before us here today. Everyone before us today is a crypto advocate. We will at some point hear from the crypto critics. We won't hear from CEOs. We'll hear from academics with their pencils and pens. Today we hear from the CEOs with their lobbyists, their PACs, and their power. And we wonder why we won't be able to protect investors. The regulators need to listen to this hearing very carefully. With all the money and power on one side, we will not be able to pass meaningful legislation. Don't cop out and say, well, you're not going to do anything until we pass meaningful legislation. And if you wonder about where the power is, Zuckerberg had to come here himself and sit there. Brian Armstrong sent his number 2. And Tether doesn't bother to show up at all. Zuckerberg did not have a day in the park. He did not enjoy it, but he had to come. Armstrong didn't, and Tether ain't here at all. Now, the number one threat to cryptocurrency is crypto. Bitcoin could be displaced by Ether, which could be displaced by Dodge, which could be displaced by Hamster Coin. And then there's Cobra Coin. And what could Mongoose Coin do to crypto coin? In the area of fiat currency, the dollar will always be more important than the Uruguayan peso, and the Uruguayan peso is not a joke. There will always be an Uruguay, and the Uruguayan peso will always have some value. Will Mongoose Coin always have a value? I don't know. I just made it up. It's a joke. Although I said that about Hamster Coin, and then I found out there really was a Hamster Coin. It's not fair to compare fiat currency's current system to what cryptocurrencies aspire to be. It is true. You try to use a credit card or debit card to buy a sandwich today, the system takes 1%, 0.5%, 50 cents away from the merchant. You try to use crypto to buy a sandwich today, I don't know where you can go in Washington to use a Bitcoin to buy a sandwich. Can't be done at all. But someday. So we compare to what we hope crypto can do to the problems that we face with fiat currencies now. That's not a fair comparison. Now, looking at Ms. Haas from Coinbase, if I take $100 on your exchange, buy some Bitcoin, and then a couple days later, say Bitcoin happens to be selling at the exact same price, I sell it. It's my understanding that I get $94.02 back. Am I wrong?
We have multiple products, and it would depend.
Yes or no? Would I get, in that exact transaction, $94.02 back? Am I wrong?
I can't answer the question. It depends on the product.
Okay. Are there products where I'd be right?
There is a product where you'd be right.
Okay, so I could lose $6 in 2 days. What about Tether? Buy $100 worth of Tether, 2 days later, sell $100 worth of Tether, or sell the Tether. Could I lose $6?
Yes.
Okay. Let's turn to
Technically
Mr.
4.
What?
It's a 2% charge.
2% charge. I thought it would be a 3% charge. It's $2.99 last time I was on your site.
No.
Okay, I'm looking at Coinbase fee, $2.99 on USTD. We'll put this in the record. In any case, to lose even 2%, let alone 3%, and then another 2 or 3% on the way out in scarcely a couple of days, that's well over 1,000% interest lost in that period of time. Mr. Allaire, is your reserves all in instruments that yield less than 1/10 of 1%?
That is correct.
Then how do you pay 1% interest on some deposits?
We don't pay interest on deposits.
And yet you have a deal with, my time has expired.
Thank you very much. The gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Laudermilk, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and